She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Our marriage has exactly 1 year left." 2 hours later, her best friend phoned me, and in that moment, I realized I was finally done playing nice. This is the story of how I took back control. If you've ever felt ignored, underestimated, or dismissed in your relationship, smash that like button, subscribe, and comment "I see you," because you deserve justice. Let's dive in. I remember the moment like a punch in the chest. We were sitting across from each other at the dinner table. The soft hum of the ceiling fan, the faint smell of steamed rice and curry lingering in the air. I had just come home from work, tired, shoulders heavy, not sure what I'd done wrong, only that something felt off. She, my wife of 5 years, quietly placed her chopsticks down and said, "I think our marriage has 1 year left." My heart froze. The word sounded absurd. 1 year left, as if she were giving me an expiration date. I felt my throat tighten. My hands went cold, and I had to look away so she wouldn't see the hurt turning into burning anger. My internal voice screamed, "What does this even mean?" Yet on the surface, I nodded, because I still believed in us, in the life we built. I swallowed hard, tried to smile, but inside I felt powerless. In the early days, things were different. We laughed in the morning, planned vacations, shared dreams about kids, maybe a house near the coast. I believed I was building something real. But somewhere along the way, the respect eroded. The tiny sidelining comments, the "you're overreacting" when I brought things up, the way she began to placate me instead of partner with me. Over time, I felt smaller, invisible. I give so much, I thought. Yet she acted like I was just a fixture in her life, not her person. Then, the moment she spoke those words, 1 year left, it ripped the Band-Aid off. She wasn't invested. She had counted down. And worse, she'd already accepted the end. That's when the best friend call came. I wasn't expecting her to call me. It was past midnight when my phone buzzed, the name flashing, L. Her best friend. I don't know why I answered. Maybe part of me hoped I could salvage some sense out of chaos. On the other end, calm, almost smug. She said, "Look, I know what's going on. I just wanted to tell you, you deserve better." My heart stalled. Her admission wasn't about support. It was quietly taunting. I could hear the low hum of her AC in the background. I could hear my own pulse in my ears. And some small part of me, realized the betrayal was not just my wife. It was everyone who watched me shrink. I kept it together at that moment. I didn't explode, I didn't beg, I didn't break. But I made a decision. I would never be treated as an afterthought again. At work the next day, I felt an odd calm. The sun slanted through the blinds, but I didn't feel the usual weight pressing down. My mind sharpened. I thought about all those times I swallowed my feelings to keep the peace. All the nights I ignored my gut. All the mornings I woke hoping for change. I realized I had been in limbo, waiting for respect, waiting for care, waiting for partnership. I wouldn't wait anymore. The plan didn't scream vengeance. It simply demanded recognition. I would live differently. I would honor myself. And I would do it right under their noses. Here's how it played out. First, I began to draw boundaries. At home, I quieted the background noise of her dismissal. If she made a side comment like "you always do," I paused. I held her gaze. I said calmly, "That hurts me. I'd like a conversation." The first few times she flicked an eye roll and walked away, but each time I repeated the line, over and over. I felt the electric buzz in my chest when I held my ground, the shaky breath when I said me. That breath told me I still existed. Second, I started investing in me. Not in a selfish way, but in the way you invest when you've been told you done to matter. I went back to the gym, reconnected with old friends, began reading all the books I shelved years ago. I filled my calendar with things for me. When she asked why I was so busy, I told her, "Because I need to remember who I am." I watched her posture shift. Anger, guilt, annoyance. Good. I let the disruption be mine, not hers. Third, and this is the one nobody saw coming, I made a quiet exit strategy. We shared bank accounts. I had never paid much attention in the fog of we. I began tidying up our finances, separating accounts quietly, transferring funds bit by bit, all legal, all above board. At the same time, I arranged for a backup living space, just in case. I never mentioned it. I carried on with our life as if nothing changed. But internally, I was setting the stage. As the months ticked by, she sensed something. The passive approval she used to rely on ran dry. One evening she snapped, "Why are you acting like you don't care?" I sat back, calm, and said, "Because I'm waiting for you to decide what you want. If this marriage really has 1 year, maybe we should start living like it, starting with honesty." Her jaw clenched. Silence took over the room. I had planted the seed, and the air tasted electric. Then came the final move. Exactly 9 months after the call from her best friend, I told her, "I'm moving out, end of the month. You can make your decision in the next 3 weeks." I stayed matter of fact. No shouting, no tears, just resolve. The expression on her face was surprise, then anger, then panic. She tried manipulation. "We can fix this, I just need time." I nodded. "You already told me 1 year. I'd rather not spend that time ignoring myself anymore." The following weeks felt surreal. She pleaded, she bargained, she blamed. I stayed steady. My internal voice repeated, "This is fairness. This is recognition. This is you reclaiming you." On moving day, I packed lightly, 2 bags, a few boxes, a sense of liberating weightlessness. The key handed over. The door closed behind me, and I felt, for the first time in years, free. When she realized I wasn't chasing her, that I wasn't begging, that I wasn't waiting anymore, her best friend called again. "Are you sure you're okay?" she asked. I replied, "I will be. I'm already better than okay." The best friend breathed a sigh and said nothing else. It was over. In the weeks that followed, I didn't watch her downtick into regret. I didn't need to. My revenge wasn't about her pain, it was about my peace. I sat on my new porch, morning sun on my face, coffee in hand, and I realized the injustice wasn't erased overnight, but the power shifted. For once, I felt seen. I felt capable. I felt worthy. She texted, "Can we try again?" I replied, "I'll always wish you well, but I can't go back to being invisible." She hung up. The silence after that text was satisfying. I didn't celebrate. I simply exhaled. Because the true win wasn't the breakup. The win was the reclamation of self. The triumph was hearing my own voice again. The poetic justice? I gave the gift her best friend said I deserved, my dignity. Sometimes the biggest betrayal isn't the act, it's the acceptance. She accepted the end.